Hi everyone, it's Diane. Happy Labor Day. I hope that if the weather's nice where you are, you get to spend a little bit of time having a picnic or a barbecue or something to enjoy these last few weeks of summer. I know kids are back to school and autumn is on its way. And we are continuing on with Halloween cards. I hope you don't get sick of them. We're only going to do a couple weeks of Halloween cards, I think, and then I'll start some Thanksgiving Day cards. And my Friday videos, I'm just going to keep them my fun videos. If you watched them, if you happen to see last week's, we made my birthday card. Yeah. So that was the card we made Friday. So I'll continue with Halloween cards today. And since it was my birthday weekend, I was kind of busy with the kids and hubby and stuff. And so when I came up here yesterday afternoon to do my YouTube video for today, I was not being happy. This is where I was going with my card yesterday. And I guess she's not so bad now. But when I was coloring, I smeared a little bit of my black ink, and then I was just using markers, or my Stampin' markers. And when I wanted to do her face, then I went to get my ivory Stampin' blend. And I had not used an alcohol-safe black ink to stamp in, and it started to smear a little bit. Now I'm not seeing it now. I guess this will be okay to use. But anyways, I started to get flustered, and I just set that aside, and it was time to walk away. So anyway, sometimes that's a good thing because I'm really happy with the card that I made for today. So I know my video is out here late today, and I apologize for that, but hey, he came out kind of cute. Yes, he's adorable. He's very sparkly, so I'm going to have to tilt it a little bit so you don't keep getting a glare because he looks kind of weird when he's just all shiny like that. And I've used a couple different stamp sets as we talked about when we first pulled out all the Halloween stuff here. And you would be able to create this also with your Bewitching stamp set if you happen to have that. Or if you have the scary cute little guys, I think a ghost would be adorable. I guess even the little vampire. Oh, I like Frankenstein. That would be fun too. And of course you could use your little witchies, which is get it? Where I was going with this card. I was going to use my, and I can't remember what her stamp set is because I have too many things out right now. And show you how we could compare that with the Best Witches stamp set, because as I said, I don't have any of the new Halloween sets because I have too many old ones, and we're going to use them. We're just going to keep using them, and we're going to combine other sets to show how you can adapt some of that into making different cards. You don't have to use them just for what they were made for. Let me see. This is a Wobble card. He's on a little wobble. I get my wobbles just off Amazon. I don't have the name of the company, and I wouldn't share it anyway because the package that I got was torn and some of my wobbles were broken. So I just had pulled out the good wobbles and put them in a little Ziploc bag, and I just keep those. But you can find those on Amazon easily anywhere. Craft stores probably still have them. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just knew I had those in my drawer and decided to make my owl a wobble. And so we're going to do some ink blending on our background. I've done on both of these, and I don't know if we can see. There's some of the shimmers. This was done with the pearl, Perfect Pearls. And this one I did. Oh, I can't get the gold to show up here. I did it with gold Perfect Pearls on there. Can't really see it. Oh, there's a little bit under the witch. Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of that. Let me see. I heat embossed my owl, and I did that ahead of time so that First of all, so you didn't have to be tortured watching me fussy cut because this guy doesn't have a die. And second, so I didn't have to heat emboss on here and worry about the heat gun sound. So you can heat emboss your little figure with just any embossing powder that you have. I have black embossing powder, but I had decided to go with Shimmer Black. And I don't know that this is still available anymore, but I thought I would just make him sparkle. I did stamp him in basic gray. Let me pause while I go see what she's hollering about. Must have been a squirrel, because she quit. So what was I saying? I don't know. Oh, embossing powders. Yeah, I stamped him in basic gray and thought he was rather boring. You know, wanted him to be a little bit more sparkly if he was going to wobble around. So I decided to heat emboss him, which was a good thing because that also makes my cardstock a little sturdier. And so on a wobble card, that helps prevent the cardstock from bending quite so much. We are going to do the hat and add, you don't have to add glitter if you are not a glitter fan. I did add some. Oh. I was going to say, where did I put that? This is silver glitter. So we'll do that after we get the hat stamped. And the other reason that I did my owl ahead of time was because I made his beak with the new Pearlized Enamel Effects Basics. And I used black, and I just made him a little beak by, and this needs a little bit of time to dry actually. I haven't touched that one to see if it's still wet. And I made his beak just by adding a little dot, and then as I was releasing my pressure, I pulled my bottle down a little bit, and it gave it a little bit of a point on the bottom, which I'm sure you cannot see, huh? So it was a little elongated there, and let's see if I can make it show up with a flashlight. This helps at all. Not really. No. So anyways, we used a little bit of that just for dimension, and I set that aside to dry. So that was another reason I wanted to have that done and put aside, so we'll be able to add him to our card without getting my finger stuck in the pearls. So let's get started doing our background first. And I will give you all the stamp set names as we go along. I'm going to use thick basic white for my background, and we're going to double check and make sure this is the one that I cut for this card. It should be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, that's going to give me just a very tiny border around my card base. My card base is basic gray, which I hope my order comes pretty soon because this is like the last piece of gray cardstock I have, and Christmas is coming. And I love Mary Merlot and basic gray together. I think they're very pretty. So, ink colors for blending. Speaking of Mary Merlot, we're going to use some Mary Merlot, basic gray, and Mango Melody. And I don't know why I got this shadow today. I haven't really done anything different, but, and I'm hoping my my blending brushes will cooperate today. They have been leaving some streaky marks. I think when I'm done with this, I'm going to take them and wash them. I don't usually wash these brushes. I just clean them off on a microfiber cloth or even on my paper when I'm done. And I don't typically have a lot of ink left on them, but I don't know, maybe my bristles are getting a little weird. So I think they're going to go get a little scrub up and put my card up here so I can see what order I did my colors in. So I'm gonna, it's a little streaky. Alright, so let's start with some gray down in the bottom. See, it's leaving little bristle marks. I don't really know why. Don't know why. It's gonna make my ink blending not be as much fun as I like it to be, and I like to ink blend. Oh, that's just being horrible. What is going on? I don't have any new brushes, but I did get some gift cards for my birthday, and that might be one of the things that we're going to use it towards. Might have to get some new brushes. So how's everybody doing? Thanks for taking a little bit of your time out of your day and crafting with me here. Yeah, we're having some rainy weather. No complaints here. We need the rain. Okay, and then I'm going to do this top corner also. Now that might be my top corner because that's pretty dark. See if I can't get a little lighter down here. Maybe not. Yeah, but we're still going to grill out later. My grill, thankfully, is under the roof of our porch, so even if it does decide to continue raining, which I'm sure it will today, we'll still be able to cook outside. I'm going to try to get as much of that in before the weather changes. Although we have cooked out more in the fall, you know, when it's cooler and stuff. Sometimes that's fun. Alright, let's try next color up is Mango Melody. And this is why I was using the thick basic white, is because I think it makes a difference in my ink blending, and it does blend prettier, nice and smooth, on the thick, more so than on just the regular cardstock. My opinion. Anywho. Let's do some Merlot about that. I just wanted to try some different blending colors rather than getting into our blues and starry sky and things, night and navy, and making more of a night sky. Just kind of wanted to do something a little different. And I thought that the orange and red would be pretty together for a Halloween background. And it never shows up on camera as pretty as it does in real life. It never looks like it's blended on the camera. But it does smooth out and looks nice. So weekend festivities included, yesterday I was a little sore actually. Saturday my oldest son and I went to the one park and took a little trail down by the old mill, and then went to the gardens in the park, and there's a little cafe there, so we had some lunch and walked around and enjoyed the last of the summer flowers. Oh, I should get that gray out, because one more little thing to do. Before he gets washed. So we had talked about using some of the dies out of Hey Chicks. How we could use maybe the little fence part or some corn stalks in your Halloween cards, or the little tree stump. And I did use the little tree stump die. That's what our owl is sitting on, or fluttering above, since he's on a wobble. So I just cut that out of basic gray, and then I used what was left on my brush just to go over that, and it helped to define the little embossed lines in the tree trunk. Just giving it a little bit more detail. Again, I don't know if you could see it. I don't know. I feel like a contortionist there. So that's ready. Let's do some perfect pearls on here. To do my perfect pearls, I'm just going to use a little bit on an acrylic block. And I did him with just the pearl. These are just little glitter powders, and it doesn't take a lot. It takes a very teeny tiny amount. They last a long time, but I don't want to waste them. I know I'm only doing one small card here. And then you can either add some water directly to your block and mix them together, depending on what kind of a brush you're going to use. But what I did, I just used my water brush, my aqua brush. Squeezed a little bit of the water down into the brush. Got it wet enough that I could mix it with my pearls. Right in the line of that plate. What in the world? I don't know. And once I had that combined on my acrylic block and loaded into my brush, we're just going to tap it over our card base. And I'm sure you can't see it coming out, but it's coming out in very fine little splatters all over the background. And Perfect Pearls just gives a nice little shimmery effect. Okay, my scissors out of the cover. Okay, is that enough? Maybe, yeah. It's pretty though, it's hard to stop. It's hard to know when to quit. I'm just going to clean my brush out by squirting some water down through the bristles and getting the pearls off of there. Wipe my acrylic block off, and that's done. Okay, so while we set this aside to dry, oh, you can't see them, good. We'll set that aside to dry and do our hat. Whoop, kitchen egg. What would a day be without that, right? Alright. We have, oh yeah, if you have Hoot Hoot Hooray, there's a little owl you could use. I think it's probably smaller. And you would want to stamp just your image probably and not the hoot. I don't know, I guess you could stamp Hoot Hoot Hooray if you wanted to. But there's another little owl image I just pulled out as a reminder that there are some other sets that have owls. Let's see. I-N-O. I know my alphabet. Just trying to put that back. I'm going to use my Stamparatus and not hit you in the head. Oh, I am. There's just not enough room. Let me see. I need a piece of scrap white. Wide enough. And I'm going to stamp that in Gorgeous Grape. And I think I did stamp it a couple of times to get a nice solid image. Cool beans. Stampy off. And I will have to take a minute to cut that out. I guess I could have had him stamped and cut out. We could have just done the glitters together. If I'd have thought about it. Okay, so my owl in the hat came from the old Howl-o-ween stamp set. Howl-o-ween. This won't take too long to cut though. It's not quite as fiddly as the little owl was. Okay, so then what did we do? We had lunch, we went up in the little observation tower. I took a ton of pictures because, of course, I love flowers. And some really pretty statues and fountains. I didn't get to go in the rose garden part, though, because there was a wedding in place. They were just finishing, I think, when we were there. I don't know. People were clapping, so I imagine they were near the end of the wedding. But the park is huge, and so we just continued on. And I hadn't been to that park probably since right out of high school, maybe. And that was the one reason I wanted to go. I kind of remembered the mill and wanted to visit it again. So he was nice enough to take and spend that day with me. And not all kids probably would give up their Saturday to take their mom on a little hike, but I have good kids. They make my life very happy. And then, well, that was Saturday. Friday, hubby and the boys and my daughter-in-law had a pizza party with cake and ice cream and balloons. So we got to sit and laugh through that. And then Saturday and Sunday yesterday, then my daughter-in-law, my younger son, took me to brunch and then to go see Top Gun Maverick. That was wonderful. Really good movie. It was very well done. Okay, so to do my glitters on the hat, I'm hoping this video doesn't go too long because I'm using a lot of different little itty bitty parts and bits. So I have my little glitters here, and I'm using my glitter pen, or my glue pen, and I'm just going to, hopefully, because I dim my lights when I'm recording, so that I try not to get too much of a glare, obviously. That's not the best solution, but it's what I have to work with right now. And it does make it a little harder for me to see what I'm doing. So I'm getting glue on them. I think we'll find out when I put some glitter on there and we'll see if it sticks. Right? It really is hard to see. My goodness. And I know it must be on there because the glue was working well before, so I can't see why it would quit now. Let's see if any of this is coming out. Oh yeah, it's sticking. Okay, it's working. Yep, so for brunch, we had wonderful quiche that came with muffins and fruit and scalloped potatoes. Wonderful lunch. Way, way more than I could eat. So you know what my lunch today is going to be. And then off to the movies we went. And then up to card making. If you're not a glitter fan, maybe you have some of those gold or silver paint pens, something like that you might want to use, just to give a little bit of metallic color. You know what, I can't tell if this is coming out. I think it is, but I'm afraid it isn't. Oh, now I think I can see it. And now I don't even know if I'm on camera. No, I'm not. That's why I can see it, because I'm not up under the light. Actually, I'm just adding both glues. I added some art glitter glue and this glue pen here on the hat band. And then I will just set this little hat aside to dry before we brush off the excess. And we can start working on our little, oops, put that back in, huh? Card base with our tree stump. See what I mean about a lot of little bits and pieces for this one. But, oh. Well, at least it's still on paper. I'll be thankful for that. And try not to hit the camera. Well, I guess that's what I have to do, is just put down like 3 layers of paper to catch all of my that overflow. Silly girl. Okay, card base, where'd you go? Oh, there it is. Aww, you got with all the shimmeries, huh? Cheers, sliding back. Okay, so we're gonna put we gotta kind of lay this out, figure out where everything's gonna go. Mr. Owl will go here. There he is. I'm gonna go this way just a tad, but I don't want his wing to go off. Okay. So right about there will be fine. And I'm going to glue my tree stump down. And remember, that was out of the Haychecks dies. Double check again. And I'm just putting it at the bottom of the card. You can move it up if you want to, and then put a little bit of a shadow under the tree stump so it doesn't look like it's floating. I'm just putting mine towards the bottom. That was why I wanted some gray around the edge. And then my spooky greeting came out of Festive Corners. And in this Festive Corners stamp set, there were a couple little leaves down here, and I thought it might be kind of fun just to have a little leafy branch coming out of that tree stump, because you know, like when real tree stumps are left, they tend to start sprouting some little branches. So I just used my basic gray I'm not up there again, am I? Added a couple little branches coming out of the stump. Put that little guy away so I don't lose him. And then line the word spooky up vertically, which is what makes this stamp set so appealing and unique. It's got some vertical sentiments in there. I think Mr. Owl's beak is probably dry, but I'm not sure. I don't want to touch it yet. And make sure the spooky is still lined up okay. That's just fine. And I'm using VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink because I want a really black font on here, since we have all of the gray in the background. Oh, it's going to hit the camera again. And I think if I tried to do my greeting in basic gray, it wouldn't show up at all. So, well, it would show up, but not as nice as the black. Yep, and these also have nice little corner stamps in this set. This is one that also has been underused. Need to pull that one out a little more often. And because I did that in the Stamparatus, I was able to do my spooky a couple of times there, and it kept my card base right in the same place, so it's stamped perfectly over the first stamp. Alright, where are we at? Now we have to put our owl together. Oh, we could put this on our card base. Basic gray card base. And that black ink is the one that does stay wet a little bit longer, so I'll try to hold it still here and let it blot. And not smear. Good. And we'll add that to the center of the card base. Start putting Mr. Owl together. I have to empty my eye's itchy. I have to empty my trash box down here. And I want to get another box and go through bit by bit, since I'm still looking for the one die that I can't find it. I can't imagine where it went. Okay, on this card, I made my owl's ears sticking through the hat. And I think I'm going to do that again. So all I did was I took a little craft knife, and right below the band of the hat, I just made 2 little slits. See if that's dry. And brush off the excess glitter with a soft brush. And try to get his little ears through those 2 little. Oh, I guess his nose is dry because I just touched it, the beak. There we go. I had a little glue under the brim of the hat to hold it on. And we can add our wobble. Ooh, he looks weird on a camera like that, huh? With that glitter embossing powder, or shimmer embossing powder. So I'm just going to add my wobble right behind probably the eye and the beak area. Take the adhesive cover off and stick it on there, and then we can take the release paper off of the other end of the wobble. There it is. And line it up on the tree stump. Make sure his feetsies are over. And there we are. He's not really spooky, is he? He's cute. I like it. Like I said, sometimes walking away from a card is probably the best thing you could do. Because this one came out. I like how this one turned out. Some of that glitters off of there. Cute. So there we have it, guys. I hope you had fun with this, and that it's going to inspire you to go pull out some of your stamp sets and see what you can use them for. You know, it doesn't have to be just the stump for the chicks dies or for the chick stamps. You can use that for other things. So enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend, and I will see you on Friday with not a Halloween card. Take care, everybody. Thanks. Bye.